Is it time for the Angels to move on? Today on SB Baseball. And welcome to the SB Baseball podcast, guys. I'm your host, Alan, and today we're gonna do a little something different. We're working on getting you guys some more content, some more different type of content, and today we got to take a look and just ask the question: is it time for the Angels to move on? And when I talk about move on, I'm talking about moving on from one Mr. Mike Trout, arguably he's one of the best players to play, right? Dude has just been a beast, but injury issues. He gets hurt again this year. And when I say again, I mean again. He's had pretty bad injuries the last 4 years, including 5 of the last 6. If you go back to 2017, you see just an injury history from him and missing significant time. This year, he tore his left knee meniscus, and he's having to have surgery on it. The turntable on recovery for that is 2 to 3 months. But one thing that I kind of noticed as I was just kind of going back and looking through the injury history for Trout is he tends to have some complications. He kind of, maybe he's rushing himself a little bit too much, and he's always running into some problems, some issues, and his recovery ends up taking a little bit longer. But let's just kind of take a look at his injury history, starting back in 2017. He missed 47 games for a torn thumb ligament. So that's kind of where it all kicks off. 20, and then you don't have anything else until 2021, right? 2020, he only played in 53 games, though. In 2017, he played in 114. He followed up by 140, 134, 2020, 53. In 2021, he had a calf strain, and he missed 139 games. He only played in 36 games that season. So he follows it up in 2022. He only missed 35 games, but he had back inflammation, and he was diagnosed with, and I know I'm not going to say this right, so I'm sorry, but it's like costovertebral dysfunction, which is essentially a bad back, which is not good, right? When a player starts to have a bad back, you're having back issues. That's really going to hurt you. It's going to sideline you. In 2023, he had a broken hamate. Missed 89 games, and that was because of the broken hand. The Angels were trying to get into the playoffs, but he came back. He tried to come back a little bit early and went like 1 for 3 and then sat out for the rest of the year. So that's just kind of a little bit of the history. Now, as I'm looking at this, I see he missed time in 2020, right? I talked about that, but I don't have an injury written down here. So I'm just going to look this up real quick while we're kind of talking about this. But as great as Mike Trout is, when you're missing as much time as he has, that's not good. Looks like it was a torn meniscus. Oh no, that's not it. Sorry, that's currently torn meniscus in his knee. So, or that's now. I guess I can't see anything about 2020. Yeah, I don't know. He missed a bunch of games in 2020. Maybe it was a meniscus as well too. But you've got this guy that you've backed up the truck for, right? But he's been your franchise player. He's a multiple-year MVP. Completely carried this team to what they've done. But as he's getting down here, he's getting a little long in the tooth. He came into the league in 2011, so we're looking at, season number 13 that he's been in the league. Postseason once, 2014. That's it. But do you get to the point where you've got this star and this aging star who was battling injuries, right? When he's healthy, there's no mistaking he's one of the best players in baseball. I mean, he was having a great year this year. He's got 6 stolen bases this year. I mean, and that's his high since 2019. He stole 11 in 2019. But like last year, he stole 2. The year before that, 1. The year before that, 2. The year before that, 1. So But again, that's also when the injury issue started. But in 29 games, he stole six stolen bases. He was caught stealing once. He had a WAR of 1.2. It was up to 10 home runs. He was leading the league. He's only got 14 RBIs, though, guys, that go with those. Because nobody's getting on base. Like, that's the big issue. I mean, in his career, he's only had 3 years where he's had 100 or more. In 2016, he had 100. 2014, he had 111. And 2019, he had 104. Other than that, every year it's under that. Because they just haven't put a lot of talent around him. Guys that can help contribute. You know, they had Ohtani there, but it was those two doing stuff and nobody else. But I think what the issue is that the Angels just need to move on. I think it's time to just move on, trade this guy to a contender, and try and get some assets and start your rebuild. You just need to start your rebuild. You've got a good coach there, you know, a nice manager in Ron Washington, who is really great at developing young talent. You know, we saw it in Texas with those Rangers teams. Really was able to bring that young talent up. And I guess that's kind of what they're hoping for here in LA, but you don't have a ton of young talent to go around. So I think it just might be time where, you know, you got to unload that contract. Let him go. You saw it late with the Cardinals, right? The Cardinals were with Albert Pujols, who coincidentally went to the Angels. But late in his career, as he was getting older and battling injuries, they just let him go. They said, sorry, the Angels are going to pay you a ton of money. Take it. And I think the Angels just kind of need to take a page out of that book and just be like, you know what, Trout, it's been a blast. It's been fun. When you've been playing and when you're playing, you're great. You're awesome. But we just got to let you go, buddy. We love you, but we got to let you go because we got to do something for this organization. They have to. You know, they weren't able to re-sign Ohtani, and now you got Trout. Now Trout doesn't want to go anywhere, though. Trout wants to win, and he wants to win in LA. He wants to win it with the Angels. Well, he's not going to because they're not putting that talent around him. I think it's just time to kind of let him go. As we're seeing him again, just year after year after year with the injuries. We'll see what happens this year. You know, he's expected to come back. He's only supposed to miss 2 to 3 months, but we'll see. Recovery, you know, as you get older, you don't quite recover as quick as you used to. You're not quite as spry as you used to. So we'll see what happens with that. But guys, let me know your thoughts. Is it time for the Angels to move on? Do they need to let Mike Trout go and just say, hey, buddy, it's been fun, but we're going to trade you away and we're going to get some assets and try and rebuild and get some youth in here and get a nice movement going on? Who knows? We'll see, guys. But thank you guys so much for listening. I definitely appreciate it. If you could, just do me a favor. Hit that like, subscribe button. Leave a comment. If you're watching over there on YouTube, you know, leave us some comments. Let us know what you think. You can shoot us over an email, strikeoutbeer@gmail.com. And do me a favor. Tell a friend. Be like, hey, check out the podcast. It's not too bad. It's okay. They try hard. But thank you guys again so much for joining me. As always, I'm Alan. I'll talk to you guys later. Deuces. Thank you for listening to the SB Baseball Podcast.